In the video, we're going to take a look at the Novablast 5 from ASICS. It gets a new Flight Foam Blast Max foam, a new outsole design, and a new jacquard mesh upper. It is somewhat different than the 4, which we're going to compare on an A/B run. I've taken them out for 2 runs so far, 7.5 on the rail trail, and about 6 along the coast of New Hampshire. We're going to get into all the comparisons and details. Stay tuned. Okay, let's take a look at the Novablast 5. Just some details, and I'm going to take them out for 2 runs. Relatively up tempo for me. That's what this shoe is designed for, to be light and fast. So it is ASIC's lightest trainer. The Super Blast is lighter and higher stacked, but considerably more expensive at $200 because we have a $140 Super Speedster here. There's no plate. But let's first talk about the midsole. So we have a new Flight Foam Blast, which is called Max. And it is, I found it, and you'll see the commentary during my runs, a little more reactive, a little bouncier than what we had before in the 4, which was Eco Flight Foam Blast Eco Plus. And here's the 4. We're going to compare throughout here to the 4. We do not have a change in stack height. We remain at 41.5 at the heel and 33.5 at the forefoot. No change there, but we do see a change in the platform width as I measure 5 millimeters narrower at the heel and 5 millimeters narrower at the forefoot. And what does that do? Well, if we compare our prior Novablast, the 4 here, you will see that it is, yes, a bit wider, but also we have a different outsole arrangement here. The strips are narrower. This is still the AHR low, but we have narrower strips, and as a result, we have more flex. And let me try to show you that. Because the 4 was a rigid rocker type of shoe, here we do have some flex after about 14 miles, whereas here I think I have at least 30. No flex at all. So rigid rocker before, now some flex, narrower front platform, so we have a more agile feeling shoe. I could really feel that on the run in the AB run test, which I'll also share. Let's move on to the upper. The upper is now an engineered jacquard mesh, very soft, and you'll think, oh wow, very unstructured. Yes, quite unstructured. And you'll see the comparison on the run to the 4, but now we have this lace, this kind of corded lacing arrangement, which gives a better hold here at the sort of the back of the forefoot with this soft, very thin mesh. And you can see we have a decent toe bumper, whereas in the 4 we had a woven mesh. It is considerably thicker. And I found a bit sloppy through here, not locking me down as well as what I experience here with this very soft mesh. Moving to the midfoot and the lacing, we have a really nice lacing arrangement and a very nice tongue here with some moderate padding. There is a gusset. I think the gusset could be a bit more extensive because we really have an unstructured upper here. Not a major concern, but this is a shoe where you want to be forward. It's not the best shoe for slower running. In ASICS, you might look over to the Nimbus or the Cumulus for somewhat slower paced running. Here, we want to be forward. So I found paces for me, moderate tempo in the 920s down into the 830s is where this per mile. This is where the shoe really shined. There's a decent heel counter here, but in combination with the midfoot, I'd like to see a little more. Compared to our 4, the heel counter is similar. I think the 4 had a bit more a bit more rigidity to the heel counter, and the upper was thicker. But the rest of the upper, especially the front, because here we don't have much stretch, whereas here we have maybe a bit lower volume, but we have a stretch that'll fit, I think, a wider variety of feet. Just back briefly to the outsole, grip has been good. ASICS always is really good with outsoles. We do see somewhat of a change in the design, as I said, with the rubber being a bit narrower at the front, giving us more flex, but also we have what they call more of a trampoline effect here off this low density plug in the front, and that is also felt along with the flex. This is a more agile shoe that reminds me much more of the original Novablast, and here's a picture of that shoe, which was a much narrower platform, even though it was a lower stack, really required really well-aligned form. Whereas here we have a bit more forgiving. So I'll get into the fit, comparative fit to the 4, and from the run here on the rail trail and along the coast. But overall, the Novablast takes a step towards being more refined in being ASICS sort of fun, fast trainer. It's a really solid choice at that 8.5 ounces, 242 grams for the 41.33 stack height. You got a lot of shoe for $140 here. It's a lot of fun to run. Is it the best shoe for a heavier runner or somebody who may pronate a bit? No. There are other choices that would be better for that. But for your fast, fun runs, and if you have a pretty good aligned form, it is a great option. So let's take them out on the run, and I will do an A/B run with the 4. So let's talk about the fit of our Novablast 5. And I also have a short segment compared to the 4 coming up. But we get a stretchier engineered mesh here. Plenty of toe box room, and more than in the 4. We now have a ladder lace system here of cords, which really holds the foot really well, better than the 4. Midfoot, we do have a gusset tongue. I think it could use a touch more. Heel hold is excellent. Rigid heel counter, but not too long. Again, given the 41.5 heel, 33.5 forefoot of relatively soft foam, I think we could have a bit more heel counter, but overall it's really quite good. This is a really refined upper. Thinner materials, bit of stretch to accommodate different feet. The lace, kind of ladder lock lacing with the cords. Decent heel counter, plenty of padding, not overdone. I thought the 4 was a bit overdone. Just could use maybe a bit more medial support. I'm going to keep going here, give you some comments on the ride. Beautiful late afternoon here in Rye, New Hampshire. Okay, some first comments about the ride. Oh, yes. A couple days ago, the trees was full of leaves. We had a lot of wind. Anyway, our ride is soft. There's a lot of cushion here, and ASICS has done a really good job managing it because there's no plate here. If you want plate in a speed trainer from ASICS, definitely look at the Magic Speed 4. But here, no plate. The outsole design is slightly changed for a more trampoline-like effect than before, but also the platform up front is narrowed by 5 millimeters, same at the heel. And what I'm feeling is a more agile kind of shoe than the 4, reminding me a bit more of the number 1, which had a much narrower platform and was really quite unstable unless you're really well aligned. This one definitely splits the difference. I'm going, let's see, 930 pace, 935, a little faster, and I'm managing fine. No heel instability. Although this is not a stability shoe. This is a very neutral shoe. The foam, the new Flight Foam Blast Max is a little bouncier and at the same time I think a teeny touch softer than what we had before. Reacts a little quick. I'm gonna keep going in the middle of political season here. Lots of signs out for all the candidates. So I put our Novablast in sort of the category of fun shoe. It was originally kind of designed for that, and ASICS thought it might appeal to young people, and that's about it. But lo and behold, it appealed to a lot of people. And here, they've really refined it. I found when they went up in stack height, they didn't quite have that arrow-like drive. They were kind of soft. Here, we're much more an all-around daily trainer. If you like a light, we're only 8.45 ounces, 242 grams for that 41 millimeter heel and 8 millimeter drop. So we're very light. That's really light on actually relatively broad platform. And by keeping it light, I'm feeling a really nice, quick turnover with bounce. We have no plate here, but with the forefoot at 33, we're not in crazy land, 39 or so, where things feel rigid. That new outsole design, I think, is also really helping. Just really pleasant, deeply cushioned, great upper. I think ASICS has got a great one here. I'm going to keep going. There's the marsh. Just beautiful as the sun goes down. And our harbor is over here, and the big rocks that protect it maybe from the storms. All of this got washed away on the sides of the road in January. And taking them out on the rail trail as well. Just as energetic, smooth. Could use a little more rear heel area stability given the soft foam, but one fun ride. So let's talk about the comparative fit. Whoa, we still have some leaves here. So both are clearly true to size, but this new stretch, slightly stretchy mesh upper, you can see the stretch a bit here compared to before, not as much stretch. What it does is it holds the front of the foot better. That's pretty clear so far. There's plenty of volume. Volume's similar, but it kind of stretches more to accommodate my foot. It looks narrower, but I don't think it really is. You can see where my toe is here. It's actually a little longer, same size, same true, it's a bit longer. The other thing I really am noticing, this kind of corded lacing at the bottom versus more conventional. I'm better held right there, clearly, without it really sacrificing any volume. Heel hold is also improved. I felt the 4 was borderline kind of unstable because of the heel hold and all the soft foam here. We've got a little bit more streamlined heel hold that just seems to kind of stabilize the rear a bit better. Lace up's very easy, beautiful lacing system here. Some ways similar, but you can see more streamlined. So I'm going to give you some impressions from the run. So to go with that more dialed in upper, I think we also have a somewhat quicker reacting foam in this Flight Foam Blast Plus Max. To pressing, it felt a bit softer, but or maybe quicker kind of rebounding to pressing, and I'm feeling the same on the run. A little snappier, maybe even a little bit more stable, helped by the upper. I think we're back to where the Novablast was originally, even though now we have more stack height. I'm also noticing we're 5 millimeters narrower in the platform up front at the heel. Up front, that's translating into a more agile feel. Can definitely feel that little bit less weight at the heel, a little more kind of directed, less sinking in. I think this is a definitely, while relatively minor, this is an improved Novablast compared to the 4 and fit and ride. Okay, a brief conclusion here. I've talked a lot. So our Novablast 5 remains true to the model's kind of ethos of being fast, fun, and super light. 8.45 ounces, 242 grams in a US 8.5 with a 41.33 stack height. You've got a lot of shoe. And it's light, it's lively, it's fast. It's a daily trainer for sure of the lighter variety. It'll best suit those that don't need a lot of pronation control due to its upper and high platform and softer foam. But for your up-tempo running, those moderate to halfway long runs, it feels like you really have nothing on your feet, and they're super fun. So they'll be available December 1st for $140. It's a fine, solid update to what is becoming really a classic in the ASICS line. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great run.